£6 billion a year. That's how much it's going to cost us to look after people on the asylum seeker backlog. That's the new figure that's been revealed today. These are people considered illegal immigrants under the Illegal Migration Act. Now, the fatal flaw in the Illegal Migration Act is that it relies on us being able to deport people back to their own country or send them to Rwanda for processing. And despite a democratically elected government passing a democratic act of parliament in a country where the overwhelming majority of people want us to deport illegal immigrants, they still can't do it. £6 billion a year. That's money that could solve homelessness, really. Instead, we are spending it adding to the housing crisis by having to find places for people who've just arrived in this country. £6 billion a year could go to our NHS. Instead, we're being swamped at local GP surgeries with newcomers. £6 billion a year, on top of the other billions that we're sending out in foreign aid, on top of the £57 million that we are due to send to India next year, despite them currently planning to land on the moon very shortly. On top of the 500 million quid that we've given to the French, on top of weapons to Ukraine, etc., etc. When are British people going to be the priority in all of this? We are being taxed to the hilt, bumped into higher tax brackets left, right and centre to pay for policies that many of us don't agree with in the shape of net zero, or to pay off policies that we didn't agree with, like lockdowns. Are we really too afraid of the backlash from Europhiles who don't like Britain anyway, or foreign countries that aren't Britain anyway, to get out of the ECHR and start deporting people more easily? The price that the government would pay for that would be some backlash. The price that we'd pay for not doing it is arguably the total destruction of Britain due to a non-stop migrant crisis. And I ask you, which one is the price worth paying? We are going to have to start deporting people, otherwise it is a minimum of £6 billion a year to house illegal immigrants, and goodness knows what are the costs on top of that as well. The greatest cost of all, obviously, being the complete and utter loss of British culture and values, which, in my view, is priceless. We have various charities who want open borders, actively taking part in the trade of human beings to Britain, and then actively helping them get lawyers to game our current legal system. They know that if they clog up the asylum system too much, eventually we will just give up and offer an amnesty and have open borders, which is what they want. We have politicians who obviously want to help win the next general election, it'd be weird if they didn't, to be fair, by undermining the current government by trying to block everything. They know that eventually the public will get so angry that they elect another party, even if that party is quite probably going to be even weaker on immigration. We can't process asylum claims, not just because of the number of them, but because we're not really allowed to, apparently, even ask fake asylum seekers who have already lied to authorities probing questions that may upset them. It does not matter what act the government passes. If we can't deport people, then we can't stop the illegal migrant crisis. And it's British taxpayers who suffer. I think that it is perfectly reasonable for the British public, British citizens, British taxpayers to start shouting this question rather loudly. When are Brits going to be prioritised in their own country?